And all seats in between, this is your home for the local sporting update, featuring the voice of the Bradford High School Tornadoes. Welcome to On the Spot Sport News with your host, David Rodgers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to On the Spot Friday Sports Special, because we're trying to get on Saturday deal, but we got to do one on a Friday. So let me start that over again. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to On the Spot Friday Sports Special.
There you go.
I'm your host, David Rodgers, alongside Michael Heater. Great to have you along. Tonight's show is sponsored by On My Way. Get paid cash for every mile you and your friends drive without texting or using your phone. You get paid 5 cents cash for every mile you drive and don't text. Check out the On the Spot link on our Facebook page, On My Way, the app that saves lives. Let's get started, as we always do with our show, as we do our prayer, our pledge, and our quote. A little something different tonight. All right. I'm going to ask Michael Heater if he'd lead us in our prayer tonight.
Oh, well, I'd be honored to, like that. All right. Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to come together again this evening. We thank you for the chance to be able to speak in the freest country in the world, to be able to express ourselves without fear of prison or retribution or anything like that. We appreciate the opportunities and the blessings that you bestow upon us that allow us to be able to gather freely, to talk amongst our friends, to be able to discuss the topics of the day, both locally, nationally, and around this world. We thank you for the armed forces that protect us, dear Lord. We thank you for the opportunities that we have to be able to support these brave men and women. We thank you for the first responders who are here domestically serving us every day. We thank you for those out there doing the tasks that keep our country moving, the truckers, the farmers, the linemen, everyone that has a part in keeping this great country going. We ask for your blessings as we go through this evening and into the MLK weekend. We thank you for the opportunities to be able to celebrate all that is with freedom and equality in our country. Bless this show. Bless those in attendance. Bless those that are watching us from around the world. And we ask for your blessings on everyone in Christ's name that we pray, and the congregation says,
Amen. Great job. All right, we're going to stand.
All right.
And I'm going to lead us in the pledge tonight.
Please do.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into a special Friday night sports show. My name is David Rodgers. I'm your host here each and every Tuesday and normally Saturday night. Yeah. But we're doing a Friday night special because a lot of us has got things going on this particular weekend. Yeah. Joined by our producer, Super Dave Holland. Say hello, David, to everybody real quick.
Hello, everybody.
And right alongside again, Michael the Dragon Slater here, our director, Mr. Byron Bagwell, Mr. Mitchell Gunner, Mr. Austin Stevens could not be with us tonight, but they will join us on our regular Tuesday show. So, hey, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the Friday night quick and dirty right after this.
Here is your quick and dirty news update, sponsored by Harry Business Hairstyling, home of the $10 haircut, Deerfoot Village in Stark.
And now here's the Friday night quick and dirty. We begin in Bradford County, where deputies and firefighters worked a crash on US 301 north of County Road 18 near Hampton just before 6 p.m. today. The vehicle ended up on top of a downed tree in the front yard of a home, but there were no serious injuries. Also in Bradford County, firefighters are wrapping up after a fire destroyed a home west of Lottie off County Road 125 this afternoon. The elderly resident of the home on Northwest 22nd Avenue was taken to the hospital due to smoke inhalation. The structure was a total loss. Marion County deputies arrested Avriel Toy after responding to Silver Springs Pizza in reference to a report of removing $120 from a victim's purse while the victim was speaking to another individual in that business. The victim heard coins fall to the floor, and then when she turned around, Toy was removing cash from her purse. When Toy attempted to flee with the money, how about this? This lady, she also battered the victim by pushing her way away from the exit door.
Figures.
Nice, huh?
I tell you.
FHP troopers have located a person of interest in the hit-and-run death of a man and his dog in Suwannee County Thursday morning. Troopers determined that the victim was laying in the roadway on US 129 south of 48th Street when he and his dog were hit. The suspect initially left the scene but was tracked down by troopers. North Central Florida Representative Kat Kammick, her family, and her staff, ladies and gentlemen, have received death threats after she voted nay to impeaching President Donald Trump the second time, and no to certifying the election naming Joe Biden as president. 3 dozen, ladies and gentlemen, serious threats are right now being investigated.
Yes, indeed.
And now, here is your weather forecast.
All right, so a powerful winter storm will continue to bring widespread impact
This
into
weather
the central
report
U.S.
brought to you
today
by
and
Austin's
tonight.
Weather Service out of Keystone Heights. Find Austin's Weather Service on Facebook and have a detailed local forecast sent right to you.
That's okay. Hey,
Hey,
these things happen.
Yes, it does.
Hey, Dave, a powerful winter storm will continue to bring widespread impacts to the central U.S. tonight. You can check out the weather map on here provided by Austin's Weather Service. Blizzard warnings remain in effect into Saturday morning as conditions will continue across the east central and northern plains, while high winds of 65 miles per hour will continue over portions of the northern plains into this evening and overnight hours. Gusty offshore winds will drive several days of critical fire weather in Southern California, as you can see on the map, but nothing like we saw last summer.
Whoa, no.
I'm telling you what. Now, locally for us, Saturday, cooler, mostly sunny skies with highs in the mid-50s. Winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wind gusts of about 30. Saturday night, clear with widespread frost after midnight. Your lows topping out around 30 degrees.
Right.
Sunday, look for mostly sunny skies in the morning, becoming partly cloudy with widespread frost in the morning. Highs in the upper 50s, west winds at 5 to 10. Sunday night, partly cloudy, lows in the upper 30s. Monday, giving us a repeat performance for the MLK holiday as we head into Monday. That's the latest from Austin's Weather Service. Dave, it's back to you.
Well, Michael, I wanted to ask you just a little something about this weather.
Sure.
I've got a lot of guys over there that live close to Steinhatchee. Well, don't live close, but they want to go out in their boats this weekend. Is that a great idea or maybe not such a great idea?
No. Tomorrow's going to be a terrible day for boating, seriously. Now, while we're looking at mostly sunny skies, the winds are going to be out of the west, so they're going to be coming in off of the Gulf across the state, gusting at 30 miles per hour. I can promise you, the Gulf of Mexico, you're going to see higher winds. They could be approaching 35 to 40 mile per hours, depending on certain locations. And, of course, even in the Gulf of Mexico, that's going to create some pretty high seas. Saturday night, it's going to drop off because we got a lot of frost coming in. So winds are going to be calm. And to be honest, I think Sunday's going to be the better day of the two when it comes to wind. You're still going to have mostly sunny skies, but it is going to be much calmer. Winds about 5 to 10 miles per hour is what Austin's telling me.
Good. I told him, I say, man, don't take your boat anywhere. Yeah. Leave that boat at home because I knew that this may happen. So, excuse me, Michael, I really appreciate that weather update.
Absolutely.
Thank you for filling in for Austin. And now, a twist on the usual with a little sports history brought to you by our great media partners, WEAG Eagle Country 106.3 FM, Chuck and Mary Kramer Lynn Vellis, and, of course, the Bradford County Telegraph, John Miller, John Ryan Elizabeth Tillman, Mark Crawford, and, of course, our sports writer himself, Mr. Cliff Smelly. Right. Here's What's the Date? These are the big sports stories from the Bradford Telegraph during the second week of January in what year?
This ought to be pretty good.
It should be. 3 locals to play in January 15th College All-Star Game. 12 area players picked for the Shrine Bowl. That's the East-West Shrine Bowl. And local woman talks about the life after the Jaguar roar. Was that January of 2005? January of 2007? January of 2009. Wow. 3 locals to play in January 15th College All-Star Game. 12 area players picked for the Shrine Bowl. And local woman talks about the life after being a Jacksonville Jaguar Roar cheerleader, basically.
Yeah. Wow.
Was it January of 2005, January of 2007, or January of 2009? Michael, read that first one there, and I'll take the next two.
Okay, sounds good. Well, Union County's Charles Howard, Keystone Heights alumni Jordan Brumbaugh, who I happen to know the Brumbaugh
Yes,
family.
absolutely.
And Bradford's own Dante Howard were all selected to represent the South All-Star football team playing against the North. That game was actually featured on ESPN.
Oh, they sure was. How about that? How about this next one? Okay. Keystone High School coach Chuck Dickinson was the head coach for the Shrine Bowl South team that featured 12 local high school players from Bradford, Keystone, and Union County. The game was played in Orange Park.
That's pretty impressive.
Yes, it is. And talking about that beautiful cheerleader, Donna Parado Windsor, a Bradford High School graduate, was a cheerleader for the Roar, the cheer squad for the Jacksonville Jaguars for 8 years before going to work for Unisource and still participating in Jaguar team charity programs.
Wow.
Was that? Well, let's go. 3 locals to play in January 15th College All-Star Game. 12 area players picked for the Shrine Bowl. Local woman talks about the life after the Jaguar Roar. Was that, ladies and gentlemen, January of 2005, January of 2007, January of 2009. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, here is where you can play right here. This is probably our favorite segment and probably one of our most popular segments. That's What's the Date? You can win or eligible to win if you get each one right. You're put into a drawing for the end of the month, and you have a chance to win a $25 gift card from the Downtown Grill.
Indeed.
By the way, I forgot to pull them, Michael. They're in my bag. Raymond Noe, I've got your gift card.
Oh, that's right.
And Shirley Bagwell, I've got yours.
That's right.
So we've got a lot of people in for the drawing this month so far because on Tuesday's show, Michael, it was great. 13 winners?
13 winners, yes, sir. Yeah, we had
13
a big
winners.
turnout of people on that.
So I'm going to give you a second to get your guess in. I'm going to go over some comments here real quick. I'm going to go to Dave first, though. Give me your guess on that, David.
My guess is 2005.
2005, Dave Holland. Okay. Michael, how about a guess?
I'll be honest with you, I have no idea.
All right.
I'll go down the middle. I'll say 07.
2007, my director says.
Honestly.
Okay, Michael Heater says 2007. I can't say because I know the answer.
I was going to say, and let me clarify this. Normally, I write all of these.
Yep.
This was a sports one.
Right. So
this is the sports guy.
Yep.
So don't lean on me going, oh well, Michael wrote that. No, no. This is I'm grabbing some spaghetti and throwing it against the wall to see what sticks. Honestly, I don't know. This is his baby, so don't rely on my guess. Go with what you know.
All right. So. Vincent Tucker, welcome in from Arizona.
There you go.
Jimmy Sparks from Lake City, hello. Gail Allen, Jimmy Sparks, and Dottie Hanson. Benny Jackson, welcome in. Mac Johns. Tammy Testone, hello,
hey,
Albie. How are you? Tammy Testone said, David, you'll love this. Albie is a true fan.
Absolute good deal.
Yes,
he's 4 or 5 or 6 or something like that. He's not very old. He's a young.
Our youngest viewer,
probably. Yeah,
probably so. Yeah.
Unless there's a pregnant lady that's watching that's got one in the womb.
Yeah, that's only audio though.
That's only audio. That's true. Vincent says. Because I will get into this, oh boy. It's going off the rails already, Mike.
Let's just.
I really like the new segment intros, Vincent Tucker says.
Good.
And I'm going to tell you, Vincent, let me stop right there. I'm glad Vincent said that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't watched or know, Vincent Tucker and I went to high school, same high school, 8 years apart. I graduated in 80, he graduated in 88. He moved out to Arizona, found his way out there. They've got a show called, what? Z and Tuck, Tuck and Z. And they come on at local time for us would be
10 o'clock, isn't it?
Well, I think because of the time,
Oh,
he'll
time
let
change.
us
That's
know.
right, time change. Yeah,
Time
I think
change,
it's
9:30 or
9 o'clock, 9:30. I
30.
can't remember.
Yeah,
but
I can't remember. He'll clarify us on that.
Vince, tell us because I can't.
Yeah, I
remember.
can't remember it either. Always losing my memory here. But anyway, they have a great show. If you watch it, some of their graphics are fantastic. They do a great job out there. They have about the same thing we do. They're a two-headed monster out there. Yeah. It's him and Z, and they do a great job. So I'll get some times on that. But thank you for saying that, Vincent.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Raymond Noe, got your gift certificate.
Yes, we do. Yep,
Byron Bagwell is on. It's going to rain, he said to you.
Well, the good news is that you're accurate. You're only 12 hours off.
Oh, how about that?
Because it rained earlier. But thank you.
There you go.
That's good.
All right.
He got it, though. He was
yeah,
right.
he was right. He was right. Yep.
Vincent
Tucker said, better late than never. Lots of laughs. Yep, you're right. True. Tom Bailey, snowing in Missouri, the show me state.
Yes.
It's showing him a bunch of, there you go.
That would actually make it the snow me state.
The snow me state. There you go. Vincent Tucker, all clear in Arizona. I bet. Yeah. Byron says, hello, Alvy. Kenneth Crawford. John Probst is on. Man, I haven't talked to John in a while. Have you talked to John in a while?
I know, it's been a while.
I know.
We're still waiting for you to come back.
Yeah, whenever. Yeah, whenever that is.
Hopefully soon.
Byron says, I'm going to not answer this. I have a cousin who dated that cheerleader. Oh. Okay. Miss Bagwell, I noticed, didn't put an answer on.
Yeah,
well, not yet. Anyway.
We'll see what happens.
All right. Tom Bailey says 2005.
Okay.
Vincent Tucker, not from around here, says 2005. Nice guess. Yeah. Tammy Testone, 2007. Okay. Benny Jackson, 2007. Okay. Liz Tillery Holland, Dave's daughter-in-law is on watching. Say hello to her, David.
Hello.
There you go.
Eddie Sigmund's on. Tammy Testone said Alvy is 5 and he's autistic.
Okay.
How about that?
But he has good taste in broadcasting.
Yes, he does. Vincent Tucker said 9:30 our time. He says, I'm 2 hours behind you at this particular moment.
Okay.
All right, got that.
So 11:30 our time.
Yep.
9:30.
And it's Hot Topics with Z and Hot Topics with Z and Tuck.
There you go.
Every Thursday, 9:30 to 10:30, they do an hour show. Okay. And they are taking a break right now, ladies and gentlemen, until February the 4th.
Oh, they're 2 hours behind?
They're right at this point, at this time, yes, they're 2 hours back. Okay. So that's the only guesses that I had. Do you have anybody?
No, I don't have. No, else? I'm on the same one as you. You hit everyone that I had. So
Dave, you have anybody?
I have. You got Tammy.
I got Tammy.
Yeah, I think we got.
Probably got the same.
You got the same list?
Same ones, yeah.
All right, well, hopefully some other viewers come on. Last chance to do this now. So, wow.
Want to recap it real quick for us?
Yeah, let's recap it. Just see if anybody wants to change their mind.
Sure, that's fine. Let's give it a try.
3 locals to play in January 15th College All-Star Game. Okay. 12 area players picked for the Shrine Bowl. Right. And local woman talks about their life after the Jaguar roar.
There you go.
All right. What was that? January of 2005. January of 2007. January of 2009. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Keep on telling cheesy jokes, Little Dragon Slayer, and we won't have any fans left.
Hey.
Vincent Tucker laughed about it.
Hey.
All right. Drum roll, please. And the answer is wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Man, I hate to break somebody's heart. Not a soul got it right tonight.
You got it right.
It's January of 2009. Wow. We have no winner tonight. We've only had that one other time, haven't we? Since we've been doing this segment, Mike?
I think so, yeah.
I think it's been, at least somebody has gotten it right.
Yeah, that's true.
That is unbelievable.
Now, I will say this. I think that someone who's not watching the show would have gotten it right had he been watching, but I'm pretty sure that he's enjoying being a grandpa all over again.
Oh, yeah, probably.
As
Gordon Smith.
Gordon Smith's, the new addition to the family came in.
New addition. Congratulations, our very own Sheriff Gordon Smith.
Yep.
New grandson into the family, right?
That's it. So I
think
these
cute thing, dude.
Yeah.
You see the pictures?
Chris and,
oh, my goodness.
Make good-looking kids.
Yes.
They really do.
Lydia Morris said 2007. It wouldn't have been right, Lydia.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Much love, brother Byron Bagwell says to you, Michael Heater.
I know it.
We know. Nobody got that right except you would have got it right, Byron, but you're not eligible for the drawing. So, Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in On the Spot with David Rodgers. Friday night sports special. I tell you, right along with Michael the Dragon Slayer Heater, producing Super Dave Holland. Hope you're liking the graphics. Hope you're liking everything that you're seeing about the show. Working with just a few things, Mike, before we get into sports. Just working a few things out. Just trying to up the show a little bit. Give y'all guys some color. Give you guys something to look at. And as long as y'all like it, we're going to love it. I tell you, because it's all about you guys. How many times Michael said it, Byron said it, Mitchell said it. This show is about you guys. You drive this show. Yeah. We're just the rudder that steers this big old vessel. Yeah. We come up with subjects and topics because we want to hear from you. Right. I would love to get some topics from our fans and our viewers for us to be able to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how can they send that, Mike?
Well, it's funny you should say that. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do this. If you watch right here. There we go. See that right here? Yeah, right there. That's the new ticker. That's compliments of our producer, Dave Holland. We now have a ticker that runs during the show, and in the ticker, you will see our email address. That's the best way to get a hold of us. You can leave us messages on our Facebook Messenger during the show.
Sure.
That's great. But if you want us to address a topic that you want us to do some research on, you want us to check out some things, do a little investigative work, something like that one, something local that we can give to Mitchell to sink his teeth into, something on the national scene that we can give Byron on, anything like that one, hit us up with an email. On the spot, 32091 at gmail.com. What was that? I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
On the spot. On the spot, 32091 at gmail.com.
Mike, what was that again?
One more time.
Yeah.
That is on the spot, 32091 at gmail.com.
That's great.
You're killing me. You're killing me.
I was hoping you could say that without taking another breath. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. This is a sports edition, sports special. I know I had quite a few people. If you watched the show last week, as we got into it, Mike, that was a great sports show that we did.
It was.
Really broke that down on Monday night about this championship game. After that, some people asked me during the week, and after, of course, this national championship game, which we'll get into, about some of the things that I say on the radio, or that they hear commentators say on TV or on the radio.
Yes.
Some terms maybe that some people aren't familiar with.
Correct.
And I'm going to break down some of those. I had some questions sent to me. By the way, thank you very much. It wasn't sent on the spot 30291, which I would like for it to be, but it was sent to me on Messenger, which okay too.
That works.
That works. However you need to get a hold of us, you do that. I'm going to break down some things here in just a couple of minutes on some plays. So, right here on the board, I'm gonna do it for you. So, anyway, stay tuned for that. Austin said, whatever y'all did with the audio tonight, don't mess with it. It's absolutely awesome.
Perfect. Great. Good deal.
Byron, cliffhanger. The riots at the house were planned.
That's not much of a cliffhanger if you're going to say it.
Well, but unless he's got something else behind that.
He might. I will tell you this one. Tonight's all about sports, but Tuesday night, you're not going to want to miss that
Not at all.
Because, boy, are we going to have a heck of a recap, and Byron is going to hold forth, as the old Reverend would say, on a full recap on the day's activities involving the inauguration of President Biden and everything like that one.
Right.
So you enjoy the show tonight, but don't miss Tuesday night, because I'm telling you, we have got a heck of a show planned coming up at 7 p.m. on Tuesday.
Lots and lots of information. We're already gathering up. We're already working towards Tuesday's show.
Yes,
I know that Byron has called me already putting some bullet points and things together. Mm-hmm. I know y'all want to hear what's going on in the national national news and what's going on, and y'all like to hear it from us, and we try to give it to you as best as we can, and Byron does a good job with that. Yeah. We're going to have Mitchell Gunner here back with us as well, give you some local things, some local updates, and he's also our COVID-19 guy. He's going to give us an update on the COVID-19 situation, not only in your area here, but all around. So that ought to be a great show.
Be a good show. Yep.
Don Bailey says, roll Tide. Yeah, I imagine.
Well, we'll talk about that.
Yes, Lydia Morris, and I'm glad you said that. We got McDonald's and Lake Butler is looking great. They have been laying asphalt all this week for the parking lot. And you know what? Absolutely they have. Yes. Looks really good over there. Maybe Mitchell Gunner will hit in there tonight. Vincent Tucker says he agrees with Byron. Marvin Tomlinson's on. Thank you. You can't find it in actual newspapers. Ah, that's why you left it as a cliffhanger. I know you, Byron, already, like I know the back of my hand. So I knew you had something up your sleeve.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Byron says Cambosi had advance warning. Okay.
Yeah.
You better leave it at that, Byron. Don't give no
Yep,
more.
that's it.
Don't give no more.
That's it.
Hey, cliffhanger, like
There
you
you
said.
go. There you go.
Again, welcome in. Let's get in. Let's dive right in to some sports.
Ready?
Yes.
Let's talk sports.
Let's do it. Let's get ready and talk some good old sports, Michael. You know, with everything going on in the country today, you know, sports is supposed to be an outlet.
It is.
However, I want to leave you and Dave with something and our viewers with something.
Okay.
I'll believe you me. You know how big of a sports guy I am. Probably one of the biggest you know.
Big guy.
And I love watching and trying to get my information off of ESPN.
Most people do.
Yep. But as I turn on ESPN, just a little some food for thought.
Okay.
As I turn on ESPN here the last couple of weeks, every time I turn it on, instead of trying to get some stats and some things like that, I'm hearing politics. All over ESPN. I see your face because you're seeing it too. Me and Byron's talked about it as well. Dave, have you seen that? You turn on ESPN and it's LeBron James wanting to talk politics. It's Stephen A. Smith wanting to talk politics. It's Max Kellerman wanting to talk politics. It's all of them wanting to get into the political realm instead of doing your job and reporting the sports. And I tell you, you know, people are getting tired of the media, period. But now when you try to turn it on to a station or a sports channel that you're thinking is not supposed to have that, and the first thing that comes out or you hear out of their mouth is, well, President Trump this, President Trump that, or this or that. Man, it's like, are you not reporting on sports?
Yeah.
You know, so I just wanted to leave you with that. I'll ask y'all guys a little bit about that. I want y'all, as the viewing audience, to think about that for a moment. How many times in the last couple of weeks have you turned on ESPN and the first thing is you're hearing somebody talk politics? No matter what it is. And man, it's sports, man. Sports is supposed to be the outlet of all this stuff.
Which is,
you know, to get away from this stuff.
Which is why I love our Saturday, tonight Friday, but our Saturday night sports shows, because that's all it is. It's all about the sports. And that's what I'm excited about, because I after a week of everything that's going on, especially with our Tuesday shows and everything that we do here, this is, like you said, it's an escape. It's a chance for us to just get back and talk about something that we all enjoy, different sporting events. And I know you got a whole bunch of stuff that's on the roster like that.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, why don't we delve into a little bit of some high school sports?
We're going. Yeah, and that's exactly right. We're going to delve into that. Yeah. But I want you to give me your opinion on what I just talked about. Michael sort of followed it up there. Okay. I want your opinion on that, and tell me what you think about your news network, ESPN, Fox Sports News, all that. Let me leave that with you. All right, let's get into some sports here.
I like it.
Boys basketball is hitting hot and heavy right now. Yeah. The boys and the girls, they're making the last of their regular season games. Mm-hmm. Right now, the boys basketball team is 7-6 overall. They're coached by Samson Jackson. They're 0-2 in the district, looking to try to get some district wins so they can get their seeding up for the tournament. They've been the district champions the last 5 years, and they're looking to repeat as this again. But they've got a tough schedule right now.
That is a tough
Since, Michael, and viewing audience, and of course people that are outside, of course we're talking our local sports right now. I'm going to get into several things. Yeah. I know about the Urban Meyer thing. We're going to get into that. We're going to get a little playoffs, talk Alabama recap. We're going to do all that. But here is the local deal right now. Right. So, since January the 5th, do you know they've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away games straight in a row?
Wow.
They're 0-4.
And it is. I mean, at the high school level, the home field advantage, the home team, the home court advantage, that's a big deal for these kids.
Yeah.
So to come across 5 away games, 1 home game, and then to leave again, that's going to make a mark on your team, and it really shows their grit. from when they're playing.
Yeah, it does. And after that, Monday we'll have Saturday night. They're going to go to Gainesville East Side. Gainesville East Side is 12-1 on the season. Great basketball team. The Tornadoes will have their hands full there for sure. Ridgeview High School will be coming to Stark at Tornado Alleys, like we like to call it, our gym. They'll be coming there. So that'll be a home game. That'll be on Monday night. Varsity plays at 7. Then away again. How about this? Yulee away. Crescent City away. Then next Saturday on the 23rd, while we're doing our show, it's going to be alumni night over at Bradford at Tornado Alley. And guess who's coming to town? That nemesis down the road, down 121 there. That's them Baker County Wildcats. They're coming to town. It's going to be a triple header. The JV boys are going to play. The girls varsity is going to play. And the varsity boys are going to play.
Wow.
4:30, 6, and 7:30 game times. You can spend your afternoon at Tornado Alley watching a triple header.
That'll be pretty impressive.
Yes, it sure will. So, need some wins right here for the boys' basketball team. The girls' basketball team is not doing half bad. Actually, they got a pretty good district record as well. I'm going to pull that up, Michael. Why don't you read off from the 14th to the 19th where those girls have been, and I'm going to pull it up.
Absolutely. So, the 14th home game, that was last night against Buchholz.
Yep.
We're looking at today they had an away game at Baker, speaking of the Baker Wildcats like that. But then we start kicking off. We had another home game. We'll be on the 19th. That's next Tuesday against Swanee High School. Looking for a good showing of fans. If you happen to be out and about and you enjoy watching, I encourage you to come out for that. 2 days later, on the 21st, we make the road trip to Oakleaf, where they'll be playing there. And then we're back home on the 23rd, which is next Saturday.
So that triple header.
That's going to be the triple header there for senior and alumni night. The 25th and then the 28th, of course, that'll be next games. We're away on the 25th, which is Monday at Trenton, and then back home on Thursday against Santa Fe.
And that's the end of that schedule there on the 28th for the regular season. Those girls are 5-8 overall. But listen, in the district, they're 4-2, second place in the district. That's what counts, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, the overall record, of course, you want it to be good.
Sure.
But you want to be able to keep your losses down in your district, beat your district opponents, and that'll get you your seeding for that district play. Hopefully we can host. And, hey, you never know. Girls have made the playoffs last couple of years, so let's see if they can keep that going as well. So Go out and support your boys and girls basketball teams. They're doing a great job. They're playing hard. And, look, it's basketball season. Football season's over for us right now. Spring will be kicking up. Hopefully everything is back to normal. Got a couple of things here as well, which I don't have on a graphic or in paper, but I do know this. The girls' weightlifting team, coached by Adrian Mosley and Miss Autumn Rogers. If y'all that name sound familiar.
I know her, don't I?
Yes, you do. That happens to be my lovely daughter.
There you go.
She's helped coaching the team. She's really the assistant coach. Adrian Mosley is the head coach, but Autumn, and between both of them, they run the daily operations. One of them's not there. The other one gets it. We've got several girls getting ready for district competition. Right now, unfortunately, we have a couple of girls on COVID, but they're getting over that, and they'll be back to be able to lift before these district competitions. Then they'll go to the regionals and to the state. I asked Autumn how many of these girls that she thinks she can take to state. She's telling me 4 or 5 girls should make state competition.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and our last girl was Ariana Hankerson that won that 2 years ago. So we're looking for another state champion, maybe 2 or 3 of them. That would be awesome if we could get a couple of weightlifting girls champions. Bradford Tornadoes softball will start a preseason classic tournament in Union. That's on February the 8th and 9th, just right around the corner. So they're in conditioning, and I'll go over that schedule more as we get closer. And 2021 BHS baseball schedule. The boys are going to be in a preseason classic over at Baker County. Monday, February the 8th, and Tuesday, February the 9th. They're going to play West Nassau first on that Monday, and then they're going to play those Columbia Tigers on Tuesday at 4. So quick turnaround for those guys. And then the season opener will be at Baker at home on Tuesday, February 16th. So good luck, guys. hopefully y'all can win some games, get into this, win this district.
Yeah.
Maybe let's see what we can do about getting a couple of championships back here in Stark.
That'd be good.
Also, track and field is going to be going for both the middle school and the high school. I'll get in more of that as I get more schedules and more of their track meets. I think they're still, Michael, trying to solidify a couple of those meets.
Yeah, there's been a lot of scheduling changes and modifications as a result, not just with COVID, but just having to deal with other schools and their scheduling as well. So once we get that down and solidified, that'll work out real well for us. You know, what would be great is if we could pull it off, is having perhaps maybe a couple of the coaches to come on a Saturday night when they're available.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're definitely wanting to do that as well. So, and speaking of guests, if you know anybody that wants to come on the show, if you're doing something within the community, if you're involved in something, if one of your friends involved in something, one of your parents, one of your family members, get a hold of us. Yeah. Tell them that Gmail address again, Mike.
Hey, on the spot, 32091@gmail.com.
What?
On the spot, 32091@gmail.com. And again, that gets to us literally 24 hours a day. Send us information about any topic, anything like that at all, including coming on the show. We would love to have you.
There you go. So there it is. And like I said, send your name in. We'll look at it, see what's going on.
Yeah.
You liable to be a guest on the show?
Could very well be.
Wow. All right. Let's get to what happened this past Monday night.
Yes.
Oh, boy. I tell you, I'm going to be honest with you. Mike will be honest with you, too. Michael actually predicted it by 10. He said the Tide will win by 10. I said it was going to be a closer game than I thought it was going to be a field goal game. Brother, were a lot of us wrong in that. That, gentlemen and ladies that are still watching, looked like a man amongst boys. Yeah. It was horrible.
It really was.
Number one, Alabama, if you have been in a closet or under a rock lately, number one, Alabama Crimson Tide defeated the number 3 Ohio State Buckeyes 52-24 in the 2021 CFP, College Football Playoff National Championship game. That score wasn't even as close as it was. That score should have been a lot worse than that. And if you didn't see the Heisman Trophy winners show off, a record-shattering first half from Devontae Smith, the Heisman Trophy winner. Michael, they could not cover him.
No.
At all.
And what's funny about this is that Devontae went out with several minutes to go in the second quarter with a fractured finger. He played one half of the game. But boy, what a half it was, huh?
Yes, it was. And I tell you, they tried to put a cover 2 on him. They tried going man-to-man. They tried to triple team him. And, man, he was wide open all night. Yeah. This is what he did, ladies and gentlemen. This is his stats. Single-season receiving yards record in the SEC. Mm-hmm. Single-season TD record tops the SEC. How about this? Single-game receptions record for a CFP national championship game. Think about who we've had playing that.
Yeah.
And all the studs and the stars that has come through that game, and he's got that record.
A single-game receptions record.
In the first half.
Just the first half.
He could have easily caught 20 passes, 25 passes for 300 and some yards.
Absolutely.
Most yards and a half, CFP record.
Exactly.
Career receptions record, he owns that for Alabama. Yeah. Single game receiving touchdowns record for a CFP national championship game. And multi-game receiving yards record in a CFP semifinal and final game, as we just said. So that's just some of the stats, ladies and gentlemen, that this guy has in his bag. He is going to be something at the next level. He's a great route runner. He has a great mind for football. He works hard. If you heard Nick Saban talk about this young man, he works hard. The kid is very humble. I think that's what, Michael, a lot of NFL teams are going to look at, his humbleness and just the way he carries himself. You know, you can have all the gifts that, as far as talent-wise, body-wise. But if you ain't got it here and you're not humble with yourself, a lot of these professional teams are going to pass you.
That's true.
Eventually somebody will pick you up, but a lot of these teams, especially if you're thinking about going first, second round, they're going to bypass you. You got to have all the tools. and this young man has it.
Yeah, and I think the key there that you hit it on that is the humility that he has, just to be able to put the team ever first. He exemplifies from everything that I've seen. And I was all aboard the Trask train, but I don't think that you're going to find anybody more deserving of the Heisman than Devontae. And I tell you what, he's going to be a tremendous asset wherever he lands.
Oh, absolutely. Let's get into a little bit of a breakdown, guys. And y'all join us here. Let us know what you thought about the game. Yeah. Let us know, how close you were with this thing. Let us know what you just thought about this, because we broke it down pretty good on Monday night. And Dave said something funny to me the following day. Dave said, I was watching the game. Mm-hmm. I even watched the play that you said. He even seen Najee Harris run that wheel route.
Right.
He come right out there and run that wheel route, didn't he? Hey, and we talked about bringing those guys in the box. You know what I mean? And how they were going to have to cover Devontae Smith. Right. We got all that right, with the exception of the score.
Well,
the score.
Way off.
Yeah.
But and the thing about it is, and I said that I really expected. I honestly did not expect Devontae to get more than 100 yards, simply because I figured he was going to be double and triple teamed. They were going to really focus on him, and it did not matter.
It did not.
I was like, I'm glad I didn't have any money right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a workhorse. There's nothing you can do about it.
Let's go over some stats really quick here.
And the stats themselves are just
unbelievable,
wow.
Aren't they?
Yeah.
First downs, Alabama had 33, Ohio State had 19. Yeah. Rushing, 10 attempts, right, Mike?
No, 10 first downs rushing versus
10 first downs rushing. Okay, so we're breaking down the first downs.
Breaking down the first pass.
All right, so 10 rushing first downs to 5.
Yeah.
All right, passing, 22 for Alabama, 11 for Ohio State.
Yes.
And penalties, Ohio State had 3, Alabama had 1.
Right, and that's how they got a first down as a result of a penalty.
Correct.
Ohio State got 3 first downs as a result of penalties, and yet they still had just a little more than half of the first downs that Alabama scored.
Yes, actually Alabama was out penalized Ohio State.
That's what
they
I mean.
had more penalty yards, period, and
exactly
still looked
right.
at the domination of the game.
Yes.
Rushing, 157 yards for Alabama, 147 for Ohio State. Not bad, pretty close.
Some parity there, yeah.
29 attempts rushing for Ohio State, 38 for Alabama. Right. Average yards per rush. This is Ohio State. 1 yard better than Alabama. They rushed at 5.1 yards per rush. Alabama 4.1. But
that's not where it's.
No, that's not even where the game. But I will say this: most of those average yards per rush. You remember Sermons went out on the first play.
Correct. Yeah.
So Trey Sermons was out. They had to bring in Master Teague, which we talked about. Correct. They really keyed on Master Teague. Master Teague really didn't open it up like he should. Most of those rushing yards came from Justin Fields.
Yeah, I was going to say
running for his life.
Yeah. And give Justin credit. He was much more mobile, to be honest, than I was expecting, because I knew he was going to be under a lot of pressure. Yeah. And surprisingly, I mean, he did very well with that. And you know what impressed me amongst this whole thing?
What's that?
Even though there were penalties, and that one. And there were turnovers. There was not a single interception thrown the entire game by either
That's
team.
Exactly right. Not a single interception, and still see how the dominance is here.
Yeah,
But when Justin Fields got popped on that one play, and he got up and he was when I said, "Nah, this is over." I said, "Alabama smells blood in the water."
Yes.
And but that 4.1 average rush per yards was all from the workhorse Najee Harris. A lot of it for sure. Yeah. Passing. Here was the big key.
This was the big one, right?
464 passing yards for Bama, 194 for Ohio State.
You're not going to win.
You're not going to win that. You're getting bombed right there.
Yeah.
That means there's a lot of guys wide open. Mechie was open all night. I can't think of the other receiver now, but Waddle came in for 3 or 4 plays. It was just, I mean, it was like you were playing in the backyard, Michael.
It was.
Me, you, Byron, Mitchell, and Dave. Hey, go deep. We got you for 50 yards.
Yeah.
That was just like that.
And the thing about it is when Mack had aired out, Mack was 36 of 45
yes.
for that 464 yards.
Yeah.
That is I mean, the percentage is amazing.
What is that, like 77, 78%?
That is
about 78%, right?
Pushing 80%, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's got the record for that now because remember
so.
last year,
Yeah.
Burrows had it.
Yes, that's right.
Burrows
that
had
is correct.
it.
Yes,
Now Jones has it.
That's correct.
So, as Michael said, no interceptions. Average pass per play, here you go. 5.9 for Ohio State. 10.3 for Bama.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It was.
What about the yards?
Oh, I'm telling you.
I'm surprised that Ohio State got 341 yards, ladies. That's a pretty nice game.
That is a good game.
Except when you're playing, if you're not playing Alabama. Bama got 621 yards total offense. They did that on 83 plays. Ohio State did that on 62 plays. 5.5 per play for Ohio State, 7.5 for Alabama. Yeah. Fumbles lost. Believe it or not, Ohio State didn't turn the ball over. But Bama did. Still didn't cost them really nothing.
No,
I mean,
really.
I think they took that. Didn't they get a field goal? I want to say
they got a field goal
out of that one.
That was it here.
See, and they couldn't. That was the problem with Ohio State, ladies and gentlemen. They could not trade field goals for touchdowns.
Yeah,
if you start doing that, you are going to lose a ball game. Yeah. I was wondering what Dave was thinking as he was watching this ball game, as the dominance of Alabama just really showed. And I know he's a big Ohio State fan. And by the way, before we finish these numbers off, me and Michael, no, you still are. Me and Michael, they're going to keep getting players. They're going to keep getting recruits. They are a blue blood of this. Just because they got their tail handed to them by Alabama, I'm going to ask you guys something. Do you know the only two teams that could beat Alabama that night, that could have beat Alabama that night? Sort of a trick question. Anybody on the air want to take a guess at that? All right, Dave. How about this? Alabama themselves, if they would have made a bunch of mistakes, and any of the NFL playoff teams that are playing this week, that's the only teams that could have beat Alabama. There is no college team in the country, Clemson, Florida, Oklahoma, put them all together, they could not have beat Alabama that night.
I think what's impressive about this is that Nick has built a not just a pedigree, but a performance base that's going to lengthen, because champions breed champions and championships breed more championships. And I think that's where we're at with this one now, is because you're looking at a team that is going to take this championship again, because I was told by a certain trivia master, because I got it wrong, this is their 18th championship, national championship in football. 18. Okay? If you can't use that as a recruiting tool, but you don't need to be in this sport. So I think that what's going to end up happening is that you're going to see, I can't imagine Alabama falling off the wagon on this one, and the emphasis is going to fall on the other teams to say, hey, what can we do to topple the king? And that is going to be a hard thing to accomplish with the power and the performance and the overall total package that the Crimson Tide have.
5 star players out there. He can get whatever he wants. As long as Nick Saban is the head man at Alabama, good luck trying to beat him. And everybody says, well, it's their coordinators. Do you know, ladies and gentlemen, for the past 3 years that he has not had the same coordinating staff each and every year? Right. They move on to other jobs. People want them. Right. Steve Sarkisian is now the head coach at Texas. That's exactly right. Now they're going to have to bring in, and I've heard the Houston coach is the next name for that offensive coordinator for Bill, whatever his name is, is the next candidate. And you know what? They'll do good, and they'll move on. Yeah. So don't tell me it's the coordinators. It's Nick Saban.
That's true.
It's the way Nick Saban runs a program, whether you like him or not. It's the way he runs a program, the way he demands things. And I like to call it perfection. He demands perfection. True. He demands a lot more things than what a lot of students maybe at other places, Michael, as you said, are wanting to give.
Yeah, I agree.
These kids, they buy in. They know what's going to happen. Because you know what Nick's saying? If you listen to me, if you listen to us, you're going to win this championship, this championship, this championship. And guess what else? You're going to go in this round of the draft. This, blah, blah. You just do it our way, and guess what? The rewards are at the end of the rainbow.
And you know what else? It's not just talk when you could back it up with the championships and the draft picks and the salaries that go with those draft picks. Those kids see that. They see those numbers. They see that championship, and they see the careers that are ahead of them. And that's the buy-in, because it's not a matter of just talking the talk.
Yeah, it's walking the walk.
It's walking the walk. And he delivers, and he can deliver, and that's what he's been doing. And it's cake.
And you know what, Michael? We're just going to move on. We don't even go over those other numbers there. That was just pure, just pure domination. I'm going to get to a couple of comments before we go, and I'm going to let you read off this here.
Okay, sure.
Tom Bailey says Alabama's the top of the SC men's basketball standings. Yes, they are. Alabama playing pretty good basketball right now. Randy Brooks is watching. Hello, Randy. We're going to get into that, Lydia. We're going to talk a little bit Urban Meyer here in just a couple of minutes.
Yes, we are.
Mitchell says, makes you change the channel. I tuned into sport to hear sports.
Yes.
Byron says, they need to shut up and talk sports. I could care less about idiots talking about things they have no clue about. Thank you, co-host. That's exactly right.
Yes,
Vincent Tucker. Everything has come political, even in commercials like, geez, come on, it's getting crazy. Yes, it has. You're exactly right. It doesn't matter sort of what commercial. I got up one night, get me a bottle of water, drink some water, wasn't feeling so hot. Said, let me just tune in for a couple of minutes of TV. Turn the TV on, ESPN, try to grab my little nitbits.
Nope.
Guess what I seen?
Yeah.
A political commercial.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you're right.
And that's the problem is we can't seem to get away from it. And that's, again, we said it at the beginning of the show. Well, I'll reinforce it here like that one. At least on our Saturday night shows, this is our escape.
This is our outlet. Yeah.
This is it. This is what we enjoy. I mean, we enjoy doing our show.
Absolutely.
We love doing
Oh, God, yes.
But, man, this is where we get to cut loose and just have some fun with what we're doing.
Right.
And we're glad that you're joining us to do it as well.
Absolutely. Angie Rogers is watching. Thank you, Angie, for watching. Yeah. Tom Bailey, ESPN is run by liberals. Okay? Yep. I'll let Byron get into that on Tuesday.
Yeah, really.
Anthony Black's watching. Byron he said by 40. He said he only missed it by 15. I remember Byron did say that.
That's right.
He said Alabama would destroy them by 40. He did say that.
Yeah,
good call, Byron.
It's true.
Glenn Reeder is on. Lydia Morris said, roll Tide. And she said they were easy on them. She thought the Tide was easy. I think the Tide could have scored more. What do you think?
I can promise you that had Devontae stayed in the game, that score would have been a whole lot higher.
Raymond Noe said Alabama has too many weapons to deal with. Roll Tide.
Yeah, yep. True. That is.
Byron said Ohio State didn't get them same calls. And let me explain, Byron. I'll stop it right there. I'm glad you said that. He was talking about, bless you, our producer back there, Senior Super Dave Holland. Say hello, David, everybody. You're back there.
Hello, everybody.
All right. So what Byron was meaning, Michael, and I think you're starting to put two and two together. When they whipped Clemson, they got a lot of calls. There was a lot of holding calls. There was a lot of holding the receivers, bumping receivers, pass interference. That wasn't called. Holding in the trenches, that was obvious. Look, I'm not going to blame the officials. You got to come out and play. To me, again, Clemson didn't help themselves. They looked lethargic. They got out coached. They got outmanned. The better team won that game. Yeah. Now, should they have beat them by 21 points? I don't know. I think Clemson's a lot better than that. Yeah. But you could just see Clemson was a little lost. They wasn't there. Every time that Ohio State would hurry up and do that hurry-up offense, Clemson wasn't even lined up on defense.
No.
They were still running around trying to get in their positions. Yeah. He'd snap the ball. That Sermons kid was off for 10 yards, 11 yards, 12 yards. See, when you play Alabama and you're thinking you're going to get those calls, forget it.
That's right.
Not going to get those calls. When you're playing a top dog like that, hey, I thought that game was pretty well called. There was, 6, 7, 8 penalties the whole game?
Yeah, there was. There was a couple times, and to be honest with you, I chalk it up to let them play. I mean,
in that game like that, let them play.
Let them play.
Yeah,
Now,
exactly.
did they get away with a few things? Yeah, I'd say there was a couple calls that got missed. But all in all, though, like you said, the best team won.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt, there's no doubt.
If you're winning because of penalties, then you're not at your peak performance.
You're right. Mitchell Gunner said, first race of the season is tomorrow at Gainesville Raceway. $15 for spectators. Gates are open at 10 a.m. Race will start at 11. Classes are Super Pro, Pro, Sportsman, Pro Motorcycle, Street Motorcycle, and also Junior Dragsters. This class is for kids for the ages of 6 to 16. Well, I'm afraid to inform you, Mitchell Gunner, that Dave Holland has entered in the Junior Dragsters class. Yep, he'll have his vehicle out there tomorrow. Ain't that right, David?
The Harry Mobile.
Yeah, I don't even think he's looking at it. He's not paying attention.
He's not.
No.
However, that being said, Mitchell brings up a good point. If you would like to see some really good racing action like that, Gainesville Raceway on 225 north of Gainesville is a great place to go. It's loud, but it's very family friendly. So if you get the opportunity to go out, Mitchell will be there racing.
Yep.
Take a chance if you want to go. The weather's going to be great. Austin has already told us how good the weather's going to be. A little windy tomorrow. Sunday's going to be fantastic. If you want to give it a try, check it out and take a look and see what's going on.
I was just telling the viewers, Mitchell's going to be racing. He listed all the classes. By the way, I told the viewers, junior dragsters, you're going to have your junior dragster out there to be racing against 6 to 16-year-olds tomorrow.
Yep. He's all over it.
He's all over it. I don't know what he's doing. Joseph A. Sayers is on. Raymond Noe, you're right. Themselves as one.
Yeah.
And those teams in the NFL playoffs. That's the only third teams that I know that could have beat Bama that night.
Let's see.
I don't care what all-star team you put up against those guys. I think Bama would have destroyed them.
That's true.
Like it or not, Saban's an incredible coach. Can you say dynasty? I can. But I want to go back to Florida State had a dynasty rolling as well. The problem with Florida State is they didn't win the championships they should have, the national championships. They was in that game 8, 9, 10, 11 times. They've only got 3 to show for it, brother.
Right, yeah,
and you got to win 7, 8 of those to really become, especially if you're there and in those games.
Yeah,
and in those games, Michael, Florida State was favored to win those games.
Oh, absolutely.
And somehow just didn't win them. So.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, it does.
Cleveland Browns, if they whoop Steelers, they could beat Bama. Well, Cleveland Browns are in the playoffs, Vincent Tucker. So I'm going to say yeah.
let me tell you what, that was an impressive performance by the Cleveland Browns. And to be honest with you, I think they needed that. I think that was the tipping point, and in the future, you're going to see Cleveland really making a mark, and you can take it back to that Pittsburgh victory, or the victory over Pittsburgh, as the point that went over that precipice that allows Cleveland to pick up and to move forward from there. Because I'm telling you, I know that Pittsburgh, with no pun intended, dropped the ball. And I'm going to hear about this from a certain young lady who's a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan. But Cleveland played a heck of a game.
Yes, they did.
They really did.
They did. 28 points in 7 minutes?
Yeah.
In the first quarter? Yikes.
Yeah.
Now, I will give Pittsburgh credit. They tried to make a comeback.
They did. They did.
Just fell. It fell a little short. It was just too much to overcome. But Ben still took for 500 yards.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Now, something for next Saturday.
Yep.
And I know we've got a lot on our plate and with time going like that. But next Saturday, I would really like to hear your take. Is the era of Big Ben over in Pittsburgh?
That's a great question, and
maybe hit on that next week.
We can hit on that next week. Absolutely,
I'd like to get your take on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Byron Bagwell said, and Byron, you're exactly right. I didn't even mention the guy that started all this. One of the best coaches ever, and that's Bear Bryant, who used to coach Alabama.
That's true.
That's where all that stemmed from. You were exactly right, Byron. I wasn't even putting 2 and 2 together. That's where it all stemmed and started from. Yeah. Greg Roll's watching. Hello, Greg. How are you? I think you're a big Alabama fan, too, if I'm not mistaken. Browns have a chance to be the AFC champs.
I know.
Mitchell Gunner. Can you believe that?
But it could happen.
However, are you going to go in there and tell Patrick Mahomes that,
I was going to say
the chefs are going to have something to say about that.
That's going to be a heck of a game.
You know the chefs?
Oh, I'm familiar.
You're familiar with the chefs?
Oh,
the Chiefs?
yes,
Remember when they misspelled that one time and put the chefs on there?
They did.
Oh, my. Let's see.
That's true.
Byron Bagwell, followed by Bobby, then Nick. I will agree with you. And I was telling him, too, the same thing. I think Bobby Bowden's up there, too. You know what else we could have put up there? It's just too bad that that thing with Jerry Sandusky did him in, and that was Joe Paterno. Joe Paterno was a heck of a coach. X and O's guy, really nice guy. And that Sandusky thing just really buried him. And Raymond Noyes said he's coached 3 Heisman winners. Absolutely. Yeah. Florida State's had the same thing, though.
Yeah, true.
Let's see, Byron Nick Saban did do one thing that was classes. He put that senior center in for the last play.
I saw
so
that.
he got to play in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Landon Dickerson.
Yeah,
man,
that
I
was a
tell
good,
you.
smooth move. I like
yes,
it.
and that's exactly right. So, anyway, great job there. Breaking news, NHRA found out today that the Arizona Nationals will not happen. The state is concerned about COVID-19. They will look for another track to host this spot. I hope this will bring a second one to Gainesville Raceway.
It could very well be. So
could be.
We'll see what happens with that.
Could be. All right, hey, how did these teams finish up? At least Alabama in the SEC. And this is going to look like a carryover for next year.
Yeah, it could very well. So our producer, Super Dave Holland, has actually created a graphic for us. You guys can
Put it up, Dave.
follow along with us here like that. Let's start over in the SEC East, where Florida finished 8-2 atop the SEC standings, followed closely by Georgia, 7-2. Missouri, 5-5. And I'll be honest with you, Missouri played better than their record show. I believe they're not top tier yet, but I'm telling you, I think they're going to be. And the surprising one for me was Kentucky at 4-6 and went to a bowl game.
Yep.
You know, so
COVID season they was taking team 4-6, 3-7.
It was.
This is a disappointment right here. To me.
Rounding out the bottom tier like that. Tennessee at 3-7.
Can we stop right there a minute?
Yeah, let's talk.
Jeremy
about that.
Pruitt has been coaching them. And every time I hear these sports writers, these sports prognosticators, these sportscasters say, Tennessee's back. Tennessee's back. Well, here the last 2 years, they did have that 8-game winning streak until this year. I know COVID hit everybody.
Yeah.
But 3-7, that's not going to do it for Tennessee. Jeremy Pruitt will be on the hot seat. I know.
And that's unfortunate because I think he's a really good coach.
He's a good coach.
He was just dealt a bad hand when that's that thing. Of course, South Carolina at 2-8, and then of course Vanderbilt with their perfect season.
That's too bad for Vanderbilt.
But
they're going to be okay. They got a new coach. I think you'll see Vanderbilt slip up. They'll never be in the top, but they'll pull up a couple of upsets here and there.
Yeah, we'll see that one. Let's sit back over to the SEC West. The graphic here, as you can see, at Alabama, of course, undefeated at 10-0. Texas A&M 8-1. That's a whole other debate we won't get into. Auburn at 6-4. Again, the record doesn't show. I think Auburn is a very good team. I think they're going to also make a mark in the SEC West as we go into next season.
Well, they fired Gus Malzahn.
Right, I know.
Out of all the teams that you've named right here, Auburn is the one that's had Alabama's hand the last 3 and 4 years.
That's true.
And you fired the guy that orchestrated that. I think a big mistake firing Gus Malzahn. They do got a good coach coming in. The Boise State coach is not going to be their head coach down there. He does have some ties, he says, and he knows some people that he's got some ties with down in the Alabama area and in the South. Let's see what happens. But I think a bad juju firing Auburn coach Gus Malzahn. And, they also fired Muschamp as well. So,
right, exactly.
South Carolina. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens at that one. Of course, you got LSU at 5-5, Arkansas at 3-7, Ole Miss, and then of course Mississippi State. So we're going to have to see how this all plays out and everything like that. It's going to be very interesting to see how things go. I'm actually rather intrigued to see where both Florida, with this coaching changes that they're making, and Georgia are going to come in here like that. That's going to be a heck of a battle to see who takes the SEC East again. I'm not convinced that anybody else is going to be able to pull that off.
Nobody not right now. So
it's going to be very interesting to see the Florida and the Georgia dynamic as it builds. as we head back into that big battle next October.
And you got to remember also, you still got a recruiting deal still happening. You know, there's 2 recruiting periods, cycles. One was in December. Georgia, Florida signed some nice players. Now you got the February 3rd signing period where you still got some players out there, Michael, that Florida and Georgia, as you said, are going to get. Alabama's going to probably get their 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 stars more than they've already gotten. That's true. So let's see what happens. A lot of players.
So my question is how do you think this recruiting is going to be affected by the penalties that were placed on the Gators from the Well,
that's a good question. I don't think it's going to hurt them as bad. It depends what comes back from the NCAA.
Right.
Now, you know, you're talking about some players that when you put them on probation or you put a team on probation, of course, usually not a bowl game, bowl ban, something like that. Kids want to play and they want to be seen on television.
Correct.
So they don't want all those distractions. So will Florida lose some players? I think so. But I think Florida's going to get some good players as well.
I think so.
Let me tell you what else has helped too. And I know we want to delve into the ACC. I know we're coming up on time here. But the transfer portal. Players coming in and out, and I know you was looking at me. You want to talk about that a minute?
Well, no, I mean,
let's go over this real quick.
Let's do this because the transfer portal is there's a whole topic that I really want to address on that one, and I'd like to save that for next Saturday. But there's a whole thing about the transfer portal that I think is going to really reap benefits for a lot of teams and other teams that are really going to suffer as a result.
Yep, and I already see a couple of teams that are really reaping the rewards of that, and one of them is my team right there. A lot of players coming through that transfer portal that we picked up and that's transferred over. A couple of 4 or 5 stars that were committed to Georgia has transferred over. We still got junior college players out there. We still got the recruiting trail, like I said, on February 3rd, that National Signing Day. But I want to go over to ACC. Notre Dame finished 9-0. Great. Overall 10-2. Nice season. Notre Dame will not be in the ACC next year, ladies and gentlemen, unless this COVID issue is still hanging over our head. Right. Notre Dame is going to go back to being an independent. Why are they going to go back to being an independent? First and foremost, this. NBC plays them to play on NBC, so there's a lot of dollars there for Notre Dame. Second thing is they play a schedule that has no cupcakes on it. They play the Stanfords. They play USC. They play 3 and 4 teams out of the ACC. They play Michigan. They play Michigan State. So that helps them when they're going to try to make the playoffs. It gives them more of an oomph for the playoff committee. Now, when they get to that game, they absolutely, excuse my French, ladies and gentlemen, they suck. So look at that thrashing that they got in 2012. They got a couple of thrashings here in 13, 14, and 15, and they just got thrashed by Alabama. Bama could have beat them by 25 if they wanted to.
So, Dave, do you think – that's a 2-part question real quick. I'd like your opinion on this one. Do you think that the move to the ACC for this season helped them or hindered them? And secondly, taking the money out of the equation, do you think that going back to being independent will help them or hurt them in next season and beyond?
All right. So I sort of answered part of that.
Yes, you did. I did.
Right,
but
so,
I'd like to just
I just want to give you an update. So for this year, it helped them.
Yes, it did.
Because besides Clemson, I know North Carolina is starting to get good and Miami was starting to get good.
Yeah.
They were the 2 best teams in that conference. Sure. If they found a way to get over Clemson, which they did in the regular season, and I know they lost in that championship game. Yeah. That championship game really helped them because they were undefeated going to that championship game. True. Clemson back to full strength. I knew they wasn't going to drop them past 4. So for this year, Notre Dame being in the ACC, yes, it helped. Beyond, I think they need to stay independent. They play basketball and baseball in the conference and softball. The only thing they don't play is football. Because, again, the money drives. Yeah, they don't have to. Hey, look, they don't have to split that money between how many other schools there, whatever schools there. So they don't have to split that revenue with any other schools.
That's correct.
When they go and play, people like Penn State and USC and Stanford and travel over here to Michigan and all that, They were playing people from different conferences.
Correct.
And even though that team may not be good that year, it's the brand name. And when you have that brand name like that, it tends to help. And it tend to help solidify their resume. So would I like to see them stay in the conference? It don't matter to me. Right. They can if they want, but I think they do better as far as that goes independently.
That's fine. That's good. And that was a great point. I was more curious than anything else.
Yeah. So good question. So let's get into something that Lydia wanted to get into.
Yeah.
The Jacksonville Jaguars did introduce Urban Meyer as their head coach. Yeah. Urban said that the job attracted him because the team is primed, as he used, for a bright future.
You know what? And I'm going to go out on a limb like that, and I'm not going to disagree with him. The salary cap issue is one thing that the teams look at, and to be honest with you, they haven't thrown a lot of money into a lot of different areas. So I think Urban may be onto something here. I think that what they're laying the groundwork for now is a big picture thing. Now, I have some concerns about Urban Meyer, but I think he's spot on because I think Shad Khan in the selection of the new GM, I am willing to bet that Urban was brought in because he has a vision of what he'd like to see as a championship. And I think that the selection of a GM will probably be driven by that vision that Urban has. I don't know. It's just it's a presumption. But with that being said, I think that this is gonna do well for Jacksonville. I'm really curious to see how the future is going to play out.
Well, yeah, and you're exactly right, Michael. And great breakdown there, by the way. Got a little different take on it. Mm-hmm. Not much from you, but Urban Meyer does have baggage. He does have history.
He does have history. Yes,
and Florida fans right now aren't going to receive them wholeheartedly. Florida fans are probably some of the toughest fan base that you'll get. They're very passionate about their team. They're very passionate about their Gators, and they know how he left them and said, hey, due to health concerns, okay, you go do analyst work for 6, 7, 8 months. Yeah. All of a sudden, the Ohio State job opens up, and man, I feel better.
Yes.
Off to the races again. Yes. Now you're coaching Ohio State, and then I guess I'm done with that. So I'm gonna turn it over to you, Ryan Day. You can go ahead and go. Now we'll say this: he does leave generally. Now I don't in the Florida circumstance, not so much, but the Ohio State. He left them loaded.
He did.
I think he's seen the writing on the wall at Florida. After Tim Tebow and some of these, he was losing recruits. He wasn't getting the recruits that he wanted. Yeah. I don't think he was hitting the recruiting trail as hard as he should have, himself. And he lost a lot of great recruits. Yeah. And that's the only thing I have with Meyer. Now, he won't have the hustle and bustle and the grind of going to these kids' homes going, hey, I'm going to take care of your son, Mom and Dad. I promise you. The NFL's different. He don't have to do that. No. You know what I mean? All that hard, tough grind that everybody talks about on the recruiting trail, he doesn't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
He's going to have a GM. He's going to have a couple of GMs. I don't know how many he's going to bring in, but I know he's going to be in charge of them.
Yeah.
And he's going to have people there at his beck and call doing a lot of different things. All Coach Meyer has to do is put a plan together, something that will work for the Jaguars, and he better start with picking up Sunshine. By the way, that's Trevor Lawrence for anybody that doesn't know Sunshine. Yeah. That's Trevor Lawrence, and he's got $100 million on the salary cap that he can work with to go get some free agents. And he's got 2 picks in the first round of the draft and 11 total picks. Right. Jacksonville, you're right, has a great-looking future.
I think so.
Let's see how Urban Meyer, he hates to lose.
See, and that's my question.
Hates to lose.
So here's my question. This is my question. Okay, so how does Urban Meyer handle losses that are part of any football season? Mm-hmm. Okay, realistically, and how do you think it's going to affect his health?
Well, you got to remember, you got a 16, 17 games regular season. Right. And then if you make the playoffs, 3 or 4 more games. So you're looking at possibly 19, 20, 21 game season.
Right.
Got to remember, Urban, this is the NFL. You can afford, it's going to happen. Somebody's going to get up and bite you at some point or another. You got to be able to handle those losses with just a grain of salt. Go out and get the next one.
Right.
You know what I mean? In college, I understand. You're limited 11, 12 games. It hurts when you lose because when you lose, you're back down and you're trying to work your way up. You can have one mistake, probably not even two, no more. Probably one mistake in college football, and that's it.
That's about it.
You know what I mean? Because you've got a lot of undefeated. The teams that are going to go undefeated, that's going to be considered for national championships. So if he can handle the losses in the NFL, I think he'll be fine.
What was interesting was that in the press conference that he had in Jacksonville earlier today, he alluded to, and then even spoke about the fact that I think he's changing his mindset that the NFL is a 500 league. In other words, I think if he can get to in his mind that you're going to have an equal number of losses versus wins, and anything above that is good.
Right.
Then I think he'll be okay. My issue is that it's the health thing. I mean, he left Florida due to heart issues.
Yes,
I believe.
Yep.
And then and then in Ohio State, it was a brain on the cyst. I think was what was going on.
Yep.
And I remember that because I remember you could physically see him on the sideline, and he was always going.
Well, and he always complained about headaches too.
Yeah,
he always complained about
always
headaches.
had the headaches. Always had pain on that one. So it's going to be interesting to see how this transitions into the NFL. The track record of college coaches going into the NFL and being successful, not that good. So we'll see what happens. I'm not terribly convinced, but as several people, including Byron Bagwell, have said, when it's Jacksonville, can't get much worse.
No, you're exactly right. Well, we want to touch about the NFL playoffs, which we did already, but I want to get a couple comments. Sure. Mitchell Gunner said Muschamp is a great defensive guy, defense coordinator, but not a coach. There are some guys that are great coordinators, not great coaches.
Yeah, that's true.
I agree.
That's true.
I agree with him on that.
I agree.
Alina Moore said, yes. Do we know any more information on the house fire that happened in Lottie about the time the storm came through? We had that on our Q&D.
Yes,
that house has been destroyed.
Yeah, unfortunately, firefighters received a call earlier this afternoon for a fire. The initial reports is that there was somebody trapped inside. Turned out that the woman who lived in the house was able to escape. She was able to wait in a vehicle outside. Firefighters from around the county and the city of Stark did respond to battle the fire. There were no other injuries. However, the female did suffer smoke inhalation. She was transported to a local hospital for evaluation. The house is considered a total loss, and fire rescue from Bradford County is working with them. Probably going to get some Red Cross involvement as well to assist them as they go.
Yeah. Great. We got a great community when it comes to that, man.
Yeah, it does.
Lydia, great question. She said, I heard bringing Charlie Strong, she meant to put Charlie Strong,
Right.
In from Alabama to the Jags. I've heard that too, but I heard something before that.
I was going to say.
I heard Charlie Strong may be going to Florida.
Yes.
Dan Mullen is really trying to get him on the staff to come back and coach a defensive backs and maybe eventually coordinator position. But I hear that he may be coming back to the Gators even before the Jags. So it varies, man. You know, Urban's got a lot of pull and offers some money for Charlie.
And I'm fascinated. I am
be
fascinated by this because what I'm really curious to see is what kind of pull is Urban going to put out to bring in other players. I had someone stop me in the hallway this afternoon and said, "Hey, does this mean that Tebow is going to be in the NFL?" No. Let me be clear. Not to sound like the Democrats in 2016, but no, I do not believe you're going to see Tim Tebow taking on a role as a player. Now, could he be involved in another aspect? Maybe, but I wouldn't hold my breath on seeing Tebow in an NFL jersey anytime in the near future. Things could change, but I'd be surprised if it happened.
He loves doing the analyst work, by the way.
Yeah, he really does.
Man, and they love him for what he does. He's getting paid handsomely for that. Yeah. Got to remember, too, he's under contract with the New York Mets.
Correct. Exactly.
He wants to really play professional baseball. I really do think so. And I forgot what that contract was, but it's worth millions.
Sure.
And so I don't think so. Maybe, if Urban and him talk, who knows, Hey,
it could happen.
Anything could happen.
It could happen. I'm not saying that it wouldn't, but I would be hard-pressed to believe it.
Yeah. So, Blake, thanks for tuning in. Yes, it is sad, Lydia, and we hate bringing those stories, but it is the news. And if you can help these people out anyway, of course, like Michael said, we got Red Cross probably going to be involved in some people like that, so that's going to be great. Hey, one Florida team left in the playoffs, Michael, and that's those Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
It is. They're going
running back and New Orleans native Leonard Fournette
will
start against the New Orleans Saints in Sunday's NFC divisional game. Coach Bruce Arians said a few hours ago.
Yeah.
So he's going to go.
Yeah, and I'm excited about this because I've been waiting for this game amongst others.
Yes.
The two big games that I'm really excited about, of course, is going to be Cleveland, Kansas City, and then Tampa Bay and New Orleans. So Leonard Fournette is expected to start. Should be pretty good. I know that they've got a number of players that are out.
Yes, they do.
On the Tampa Bay side.
Got some are out. Yep.
Yeah, and some that are questionable like that one. Who's some of the players that's going to be out? Do you know?
So we know guard Alex Kappa. Right now, he has an ankle issue. He's out. He's on the injured reserve list, so he's definitely done.
Right.
Defensive lineman Jeremiah Ledbetter. He's got a calf issue, torn calf.
That's
he's
right.
out.
Yeah, that's right.
Safety Andrew Adams. Not really injury related, just did not participate. Could be, I don't know.
Yeah.
Is questionable. Running back Ronald Jones, he's got a finger and a calf issue, limited practice time, questionable for the game. And safety Jordan Whitehead, he's got a knee issue, limited practice, and he's questionable as well.
Yeah.
But for everybody else, you didn't hear me say anything about Tom Brady. You didn't hear me say anything about Mr. Tight End himself.
Gronkowski.
Your old Gronk there. You didn't hear me say anything about Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
You didn't hear me say anything about Mike. All them guys ready to go. So this ought to be a heck of a game. Who do you like?
I'm a Saints fan. I really am. But to be honest with you, you bet against Brady, probably going to lose. I'll take Tampa by 10.
Tampa by 10. Dave, who do you like? Tampa Bay or New Orleans?
I like Tampa Bay.
You like Tampa Bay in this one?
I really do.
All right. I grew up down there. That was my team. Between them and the Dolphins, I like New Orleans by 7.
Really?
I like Drew Brees out gunning Tom Brady. Even though I don't like to bet against Tom Brady.
You can't argue that point. It'll be a good game regardless of who wins.
Oh, without a doubt.
So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Mitchell Gunner brings up a good point. Going back to the just for real quick the Urban Meyer Tebow thing.
Yeah.
Tebow age is now a factor for the NFL. Now let me just see. Okay, what is he? 33, 34?
33. Yes. I think he's 33.
Graduated in 08, right? His last season was 08, right?
Oh, yes.
So 12 years ago, if he was 21 or 22, he's 33, 34.
So I think he's 33.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right, well, okay, you got a point. Got a point.
Yeah.
It ain't been playing, you got a point.
I just don't see it happening. I mean, I would like to say that he might show up in an advisory role or something like that one, but I just don't see it happening.
Mitchell Gunner says Tampa Bay by 3. All right, hey, do y'all know a guy named Pitbull?
Ooh.
I know Pitbull. I like Pitbull. He's got a lot of great songs, by the way.
He does.
Oh, man. Well, guess what? He's a new NASCAR team, Trackhouse Racing. He is an owner of an organization. He's making his debut next month at the Daytona 500. Pitbull. Armando Christian Perez. Yes, sir. Born January 15th, 1981. Hey, I know all these facts. I'm the trivia guy.
Yes, you are.
Known professionally by a stage name, Pitbull is an American rapper, singer, songwriter. He's an ambassador. He's a philanthropist. Perez began his career, ladies and gentlemen, in the 2000s. Pitbull has sold over, wait for it, 7.5 million studio albums and 100 million singles worldwide. Do you know where he sold most of those singles at? Brazil.
I was going to say he's
Brazil. He loves Rio Recife. He's around from
America.
that. Yes.
Well, he lives in Miami.
Yes, he does.
And I'm not mistaken about this. If I'm not mistaken, he was front and center. I don't know if he performed, but he was front and center at the finale down in Homestead.
Yeah.
So I'm not shocked by that, but I am kind of surprised that now Trackhouse Racing. I'm not familiar with them at all, but apparently
maybe Mitchell can inform us who that is.
Yeah, I'd be curious about that one, but I am intrigued. Yeah, Pitbull actually has a number of very popular albums, a lot of good music. I've actually been a fan of Pitbull for a while. And for him to venture off into NASCAR is going to be a
Awesome.
very, very interesting.
I'm all right
thing.
with it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. So
Yeah, there you go. The NCAA men's basketball tournament this year, a lot of great teams. By the way, David, I want to leave you with something, and Michael.
Okay.
If you have not seen the Gonzaga Bulldogs play,
Oh,
you need to stay up and watch this team play.
They're amazing.
David,